Welcome back, chat, to the DreamHack Open featuring Fortnite, where we have finished up the semi-finals, and that means that we are now moving on to the grand finals of our European portion of the competition. Tens of thousands of players competed in our Open qualifiers, which whittled down to the 1,500, but we just wrapped up the semi-finals, which mean only the 100 best of the very best in Fortnite are going to be competing for the $250,000 prize pool. I'm your host, Hello Kelly Link, and of course, we got Shio Wager and Levin2K calling all the action for the grand finals here. Shio Wager, we had a great semifinals, and of course, it was none other than Mr. Savage up on top in first place.
Is that a curse, though, for the grand finals? We usually never see someone who wins semis take that same spot in the grand, so maybe he can break that type of tradition. We'll see what happens.
Levin, obviously being from Europe, you're kind of representing the players here. Which player that made it into the grand finals are you really excited to watch?
You know what? It's the boring answer, but after the way he was playing in the semis, I really want to see if he can continue this form. Look, Shai just said it. It's not something we see, right? Nobody ever wins the semis and goes on to win the finals, but if there was going to be someone who does it, it would be Savage, right? So I really want to see how he does a couple other players like Castery and players of that kind of such a way. I'm excited to watch, but Mr. Savage is like the one I really want to see.
Oh yeah, and we see Mr. Savage constantly up in the top 20 leaderboards for the European competition, and we've seen it here month and month, and it's been a great journey here at the DreamHack Open. It's been a great experience, of course, and we do appreciate you guys hanging out with us and joining us on this journey. But this journey is going to be taking a little bit of a turn, chat. We're going to be going into a different direction, and, well, let's just let the announcement take it away. That is right, everyone. You asked for it, and we are delivering here at the DreamHack Open. It's going to be duos for November. North American East, North American West, and Europe are going to be the duo competitions. Are you guys, and by you guys, I mean the two of you, going to be good enough to clinch out the first place spot? Shia Wager, what does duos coming to DreamHack mean for competitive Fortnite?
First of all, let's go! Oh my goodness. Duos, what does it mean for competitive Fortnite? What does it just mean for the entire world, right? Like, it's been a while since we had an official duos fully competitive competition. I think the Aqua Nyrox Cup was the last throwaway thing, but now people can prep. There's that DreamHack prize pool, and everyone was asking for it too. So it just means the world is what it means.
I mean, Levin, I know that you're excited to get into duos and to watch these players kind of pair up and perform the very best. And here we have the structure, of course. It's going to be a somewhat similar structure to what we're used to here at the DreamHack Open. The only difference is, though, it's not going to be 750 players moving forward. It's going to be 250 teams. That means that we're going to be having 1,000 players go into the semifinals. And it's going to be a similar situation. 10 matches, 3 hours to collect all those points. And then from there, it's going to be moving on to the grand finals, where it's going to be 50 duos, 6 games, $250,000. So really the only difference, besides it being duos, obviously, is that instead of 750 players moving on to the semifinals, it's only going to be 250. And here we have the dates, everyone. Europe is actually going to be first for the first time here at the DreamHack Open, the 7th and 8th, showcasing what exactly the duos have to offer. North American East is going to be after that, the 12th and 13th. And then, of course, you guys can read, it's North American West on the 19th and 20th. Levin, when you hear duos and you think of Europe, which two players do you think are going to be the best duos that we have?
Best duos? Oh, wow. Well, thinking back to the last time we saw any sort of duo competition, biggest thing would be Benji and Savage. Just that name, just the history behind that name is ridiculous. To be fair, I am expecting to see like a lot of shake-up in terms of who we actually see play, but the bottom line is we finally have duos. Everyone's been asking for it. Duos, we want duos, DreamHack duos. So it's finally here. And you know what? It's gonna be fun. I might even play. I might not even cast that week. I might decide I wanna. If anyone wants a duo, you know where to find me. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be a great time. I can't wait to finally watch some duo action. It's gonna be good.
I know.
It's gonna be good.
Everyone in our chat super excited for it. Of course, all the players out there are incredibly excited for it as well. So guys, make sure to follow DreamHack.com/Fortnite for more information about the duos competition that's going to be happening in November. And of course, follow us on Twitter. That's going to be DreamHackFN for all of your Fortnite information. And we do have some incredible media posts and information and updates that go up there. I believe we had an incredible Benji Fishy /SpongeBob parody by Shia Wager himself. So make sure to follow DreamHack FN on Twitter, everyone. But guys, signups open in an hour, chat. Signups for the duos November is going to be open. DreamHack.com/Fortnite. It's going to be open at 10:15 p.m. CET. I don't know what that is in other time zones, but again, follow DreamHack.com/Fortnite for all of the duos information. But guys, that's going to be next month. We got to talk about what's going on right now. And what better way to kick that off than taking a look at our top 20 leaderboard. Here are the best players that we had in the semifinals. And of course, Mr. Savage is up on top, representing 100 Thieves with 509 points, almost a 50-point difference between first and second place. Second place, of course, being I dropped 7. Wolfies is going to be holding out in third place with 460 points. Reason, the person that I actually gave a reason to win the whole thing, is in fourth. And then Roba is holding fifth.
And we were talking about, and I'm distracted by duos slightly. I'm looking at a previous duo in first and second, Savage and I drop, neck and neck, a kind of a 40, 50-ish points difference, which is one game, but maybe they run it back. Who knows? You know, right? We have a bunch of big names on this page. So 11, Styler here too. I mean, what are your thoughts about the top 20?
Yeah, I was looking at it and I was in shock almost. Looking at the top 20, I was thinking, this looks like a grand finals leaderboard. You know, obviously you always want to see the big names, but it's very rare that we always just have consistent big names within like a top 20. So to see all of these players just like in there, like, I mean, really in there and playing well today was great.
Here is the bottom 20, Chad. Just as a quick reminder, which players barely scraped by and then which players missed the mark. Trulex and Hen and Aqua didn't qualify, but hopefully we'll see them in the duos competition in November. You guys are just silent. You're just astounded by all these players that didn't qualify. I can understand, but please, Shayo, what's going through your mind right now?
What's going through my mind here is seeing Swag, Aqua, Hen, Trulex not be here for now. Unfortunate, right? Even people like Brythe, Fork, Ops, these guys who have a chance to make their names, not make it that far into the grands, it kind of feels bad, but their semis, you know, being top 100 or top 200 at least, that's a good performance that a lot of people can't say that they actually had. I'm wondering how these guys will prep for later on, but still there are some names that made it. I'm looking to see what that 100th place person will do. Uprise, right? I want to see what Flecken does as well. Blender Kid with, I believe, is Koi, or Keon, I believe Keon. I have to work on that pronunciation, but he's playing too. We have a bunch of people who might have hidden names you have to keep a track for. There were some people on Twitter who were, you know, deciphering those, which is very nice, but still your semis placements overall don't always say a lot about what could happen in grand finals.
That's very true. I do want to give a quick shout out to some of the other big names that did qualify through our top 100. We have players like Janice, Thomas HD, Lanoof, Link, who I'm a bit biased towards, Leche, Kenzel, Refsguard, Queasy, Castery, Tooth, Deceptos, and Mappy. And of course, the other incredible players right there as I turn off my phone right now. Guys, it's going to be some great games coming up here for the grand finals, and it's going to be 6 games. And we are going to be taking a quick break before we jump into game number 1. But before we do that, I got to ask you guys a difficult question. Shayo, who do you have winning the whole thing?
Let's go with a safe answer for now as a placeholder and say I drop. I'm gonna say it's I drop. Looking at his Trios performance, looking at him in second place, I feel like he has the fire underneath his feet. He can definitely, like Heat, rise to the top.
11-2K, who do you have?
You know what? I'm gonna take a shot in the dark. I'm gonna go Deceptos. I think he could have, you know, it's a Frenchie. You know, I think the Frenchies always surprise me. So I never like pick them and then they end up doing well. So I'm gonna go over with my Frenchie there, Deceptos. I think he's gonna have a wowzer of a day.
Is it going to be Deceptos or iDrop, or is it going to be the 2 players that I gave it to, Reason and Anas? Well, we're about to find out, chat, because game number 1 is going to be starting for the grand finals here in just a moment, but we do have a quick break, so don't go anywhere.
2 open heats, a semifinals, and after that, it all comes down to this glorious day. Welcome to the October EU DreamHack Grand Finals. 11, 2K, and I are so excited to get you through to Game 1.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be amazing. This is my first Grand Finals, and EU, the best region to possibly have my first Grand Finals as well. So it's going to be exciting. So many players here landing on the map. So did I cut you off there, Sharon?
No, I was going to say it's your region, right, man? I'm so hyped to see the knowledge you're going to bring, the calls we're both going to make. But it all starts with those players. It all starts with that Game 1 landing. That's where momentum is made. And you know, Levin, in solos, it's all about that momentum.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of these players on EU, right, are, very rhythm-based players, right? Some of these guys, if they're hitting their shots, if they're in their flow, right, they can do amazing things. And I think we'll start to spot out from early on who's not really all there. But as much as you can spot these things out from early on, don't get too in your head, right? One bad game at the beginning isn't, the be-all, end-all. You've got 6 games, make the most of all 6 games.
No, absolutely. And MXR is trying to make the most of every second with a 50-50, gets the nice broom and goes out, but with 3 HP and no other loot really over here. I'm going to be surprised as to what he does to stay alive.
Yeah, this is just not how you want to start, is it? I wonder if ZTK is going to actually chase this one up. It looks like he is. Oh no, this might actually cost him. Oh yeah, he's had an absolute nightmare. ZTK, you got a bit too big for your boots there. He tried to finish off that elimination onto EMXXR, but the third party comes in, and now EMXXR has got a massive grin on his face. He's probably licking his lips right now, and he's going to be able to continue on the rest of this game. Gonna get that slurp chuck there, get himself up to full shields.
Free elimination for him, free full shields too. And I'm gonna go back to Caddy Corner, but this time, I swear they should have renamed this POI to the Ruins because it's not been the same as it ever was before.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate to kind of see the downfall of Catty, if you want to call it that, right? Obviously not as big of a spectacle, right? We don't see as many interesting engagements coming out here. But I think there are still some really big notable names that will opt to land here, right? Obviously we can see now Slicks and Jules opting to land here. You get a couple players who will contest because there is still a fair amount of loot. Obviously nothing compared to last season, but would I say I can see a winner coming out of Catty Corner? I'd probably say unlikely, but who knows, right? Who knows?
I mean, Styler lanes here, and we know he's really good in just solos and Cash Cup formats overall over in Europe and has been over time. But I've always only seen like top 3s and top 5s from him. So I'm wondering if he gets that win today. If he does get that top 3, though, it'll be huge. Already has shields already moving out. Jules, kind of a different situation. For us in front of our screens, just a great pump, not that much ammo, but he has a few chests he can possibly get that Styler might have missed.
Yeah, and obviously this battle here is going to get interesting because Jules has walked in on a 2-man party. Well, it looks like he's going to maybe step away here, get as much loot available to him. Obviously the materials are going to be nice. If you look at what he has available to him, as it currently stands, not too amazing. So opting to kind of, keep his eyes on the prize, focus on the long game.
Or not? He's still looking for shots. Oh, and he gets beamed back. That's the thing, right? If you play that long game, it's so much safer, you can rotate. But he gets eliminated right there. How are you going to play the long game and be convinced to with just a great pump? I understand Jules' decision-making. Unfortunately, he gets punished. And now Guden as well is getting punished hard. Lost all his shields, just has 2 minis for this fight.
And he's trying to make his way towards the rift. He wants to get out of there and quickly. He's able to do so in the nick of time. Opted to go straight back down over towards the start kill here. Well, this could be his end because he's running into one of the scariest players. It's Halloween, we're keeping on the scary. Okay, dipping just in time. I was going to say, because if he had ended up landing over towards Stark and running into Thomas HD, it just... I think that's actually worse, really.
Oh man, I think that he should have definitely landed on there and tried to make it a third-party situation, but he's trapped now one-on-one. The last crash pad also used, I'm not sure exactly what that was about. But on his screen, he gets taken out in an instant. Oh my goodness.
Would you rather fight X-Squeeze or Thomas HD? I think regardless, that's a tough fight. But which one are you picking?
I'm in that situation, definitely picking Thomas HD. Squeeze is on the hunt, right? There's no reason to fight the guy who's already done so much damage to you. Maybe just tilt his game. Next time you guys fight, he might be a little bit angrier, make a mistake, but I'd say Thomas HD.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think if he lands towards Stark there, he could probably regroup, right? Better than just like gliding around all over the place. So maybe he can work on that for next game. Modi taking a bunch of tags here. He's kind of stuck in the middle of, not in the middle of nowhere, but he's trapped in between Tomzy and another player. And these positions can be the most difficult ones because if Tomzy decides he wants to fight, then yeah, it gets really rough. So we'll see how this one plays out for Modi.
But tell me what's going on here, Levin. Why is everyone getting into so many scuffed mid-game, not even early-game engagements? Like, is it the loop pads or like, what's going on here? This is shambles.
Yeah, you can see here, it's 1 HP for Modi. I think a lot of it is just, you know, bad mid-game rotations. I think people are trying to angle themselves and posture themselves towards the rifts, right? And I definitely understand why you'd want to do that, right? The rifts are so powerful. But you can see they can also be the end of you because Modi here on the back foot, 1 HP left. He needs to hit a wonder of a shot if he wants any chance of surviving for the rest of game one. Not able to connect with anything, and he's going to be out of the game there.
A bunch of stuff happened at Misty. We saw a fight earlier on the replays. Robabs went down to Tomzy. A lot of people trying to claim big spots, big POIs right now. Benji, a sniper rifle onto Snazy. If Snazy gets taken out, endgame gets easier for so many people, but then in the next early game, he'll get even more angrier. He blocks the first shot. Benji might even hunt him down.
And you see the patience there from Benji. Looked for the snipe shot. Wasn't able to connect, but regardless, the point is made, right? He gets that initial damage, and that gives him the A-OK to push towards this fight if he does choose to. I think Snazy creating the separation with the impulse probably, you know, says to Benji, all right, look, you know, you've created a separation. I'm going to move over towards the vault, see if I can get any leftovers, and trust me, at the vault, you usually find a bunch of leftovers, right?
I used to say leftovers. You usually find a whole second meal there, man.
Exactly.
I'm just wondering how many people are sharing that spot. There's a replay from X Squeeze on the bottom. But Doom's Domain in solos, is it still like the best spot, or is Stark better? We even have the ruins now.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, right? We always have these debates, especially this season, right? The debate would be between Doom and Stark and which one's the better one. And I think in terms of trios versus solos, is there much difference in terms of, you know, what makes which one better? Not really. I think they're both just two amazing places with large amounts of loot. You know, the mythical items, you know, do they come into play as much as they would in solos as they do in trios? Probably not. So I think it matters less, but Doom is still one of those places where it's like, this is where you want to be landing. I think Monday, it feels like yesterday. Monday, we saw in Heat 2 Splashy. He had amazing success, right? He was popping off just from landing that.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
Wait,
Snazy
came back and gets wrapped up? Did he not see Benji go down here? This is a weird decision, but good for Benji, I guess. All he had to do is wait.
Yeah, that's some really poor play. I'm guessing he just didn't see him go down, but in that general area, you've got to assume Benji would be looking towards the vault, like to just kind of teleport like that. It's just, I don't know, with no info. It just seems a bit odd to me, but okay, I guess.
It happens sometimes like that. Free pickup for Benji. I don't think we'll see a mistake like that again from Snazy. Wolfie's now on the hunt in Slurpee Swamp. Nowhere near inside the zone. Actually, he's pretty close, but compared to everyone else we've been watching, we haven't seen many storm fights. I don't think Naku's going to be too happy if he gets beamed in the back.
And you see here, Wolfie's moving in relatively slow. Just playing the long game, right? Just being as patient as possible. Waiting for that perfect moment and finally opting to take that shot. Naku now wondering where it's all gone wrong because Wolfie's in his face. Okay, Naku almost getting up for a second, but Wolfie's a controller player, doesn't miss his shots, and it's only a matter of time now until Naku's out of this game. In the storm, time's ticking down low. It doesn't seem like he has much white HP. He does have the minis, but is it gonna matter against Wolfie's here? He's on a tear right now.
And he gets Naku down. Now, Wolfie's, man, we know about him. He's won Cash Cups time and time again. I think the most recent trio one as well. 22nd, I think, might have been one of his highest placements in DreamHack. But, like, I'm looking for a top 3. I'm looking for a win out of Wolfie's. I hope he does it right today, but if he's starting off like this, if it's confident, it might be looking really good for him in October for DreamHack.
Yeah, and I don't think Wolfies has necessarily gotten as much credit for his success as a solo player as he should. Like Wolfies is one of those players who's like consistently, nearing the top of leaderboards when it comes to solos, especially. But the talking power isn't just like there the way it is with certain other players. So Wolfies is definitely someone who you can expect to do well. Obviously, doing well in the semis earlier today, and already in good form. Nate, though, you right there, buddy?
He's having some big trouble. Knocked out game number 1. I don't think my man Nate's used to that, right? Like back-to-back uncontested sweaty stands, wins, qualifier 1 and 2 in Europe for Trio F and CS, and now having some trouble in the early game. I mean, we were talking about Wolfies as well, right, Levin? Like a lot of these guys who only really have trios to show that they're doing really well right now, we're trying to find that translation into solo gameplay, and that's a little bit difficult. It's a whole different game.
Yeah, most definitely, it is a whole different game, and I think you can tell, where certain players struggle. Obviously there are a bunch of players who aren't here in the finals today, and I think a lot of that is due to the struggles. Obviously, where the main game mode of the season is trios, solos aren't necessarily being as practiced as much. All we've really had in terms of solos was the former DreamHack we had right last month. So definitely you see where there's been a lack of practice on certain players' behalves. See a cheeky little replay down there below.
That'll be a Kutso killing Moody like we saw before. Benji to pick up 1 elimination. Drop that sniper rifle somewhere as well. Going for the candy. Those peppermints acting just like spicy. Oh my goodness. Forget the candy breakdown. If that was trick or treat, my man just got fully tricked. Benji with a quad dink in his own head.
That was some scary stuff. Benji, you took the 50-50 and you've gone down, son. What's going on here? It's an absolute travesty for Benji Fishy. Game 1 going down early. And in that fashion, right? It's literally just like a 50-50 AR battle. It's not a great start for Benji. Yeah, it's just not a great start, right?
And this is our reaction. Like we're flabbergasted. Imagine how he feels right now. I mean, we keep saying, Benji looking for that win in grand finals, looking for that top 5, the full finishes. He's placed pretty well in grands, right? He's getting those top 20s consistently, top 15s consistently. But I feel like he does the best when he plays really aggro. If stuff like that keeps happening, Levin, and we see a passive Benji Fishy, I just feel like the hopes for grands is gone today.
Yeah, and I do, always wonder if that plays on his mind, right? That's the one thing we always say about Benji, right? It's like he's this amazing player, someone who we always talk about as being one of the best in the world. But we want to see that one big first place performance, in a DreamHack or in something else. And so, I do sort of wonder if that sometimes plays on his mind, whether it affects, whether he is going to play a bit more passively now, obviously after having a bad start to game 1. And like I said, like you said, he does play better aggressively. And so I hope, he kind of keeps a level head and doesn't, shrink in the moment.
Hope he does not either. Now we're in the center of the map. Those ruins, brand new. If you guys haven't played in the last few days, a few more chests here and there, a little bit more opened up, and henchmen that have RPGs.
Which I'm a massive fan of. Massive fan. Yeah. Give me a full trio of RPGs. Give me that. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Nah, it gets chaotic, man. The one thing is like those people who survive in those chaotic situations, people who used to land over at Authority, now kind of they were already hiding, right, from drum guns before, from like 20 different people landing. I feel like they can dodge out RPGs and they have a better buff spot comparatively to before how Authority looked.
Nice shot there. There's your aim training for your son. Floki picking up 1 and he's looking for more. Probably not going to be able to retrieve that. Oh, he's going for it. Okay. I was going to say, will he make the play to go for that loot?
I feel like he's chilling on his entire loadout and build with all those weapons, all the nice mats all the way around. Maybe he wanted to get the Bills just have a better position because being in a one-off box with wood walls is not the best. Here's Reason next to Rocky. Might be dangerous for Rocky. We usually see Reason make quick work of the people beside him in like the 3rd, 2nd zone. if not use them and track them down until half and half, and then just take that free elim.
And we can see Rocky knew, right? You see him shoots on the cone a little bit. He had an idea. He had an idea of what was going on.
I don't think he knows who he is, though, inside the cone. Another replay from Stronix. He's getting a shot off on Janice, actually, and a big win all the way at Sweaty. So Janice here, not in game one.
Couple of the big names going down early. And Janice is obviously someone who we've seen in the past have a bunch of success, right? Winner of the FNCS Solo Invitational. And so, you know, he's always someone who you're going to pick to do well in a solo competition. And he's proved that he is of that caliber. But for now, out of game one.
Now let's talk, Levin. Right, there's not much to see usually when everyone's boxed up, just looking, you know, at each other in cones like Reason and Rocky. But let's look at the zone. Central, possibility of going right and left on mountains. It actually pulls even more so forward. Natural low ground, Reason already makes a move to get a little bit higher. Actually inside the box. Now Rocky's kind of scared. The zone talk might have to wait for a second. He gets big pumped. More third-party shots coming around. He's not blocking off the side. Takes another one. But who picks him up? It's Etsy. He gets the big elim, or Esty.
Yeah, Esty's picking that one up, and Rocky's going to be so frustrated after that one, right? And it is just the Reason effect, right? Just Reason.
Yeah.
That is what you literally called it, right? That's what he does. That's what he does. He causes issues for people around him, and Etsy's able to profit off of that one. And like you said with the zone, right? Obviously, you know, these, you know, kind of zones with different levels of terrain can be very interesting, right? And obviously, with the movement available to us this season of shockwaves and crash pads and bounces, it makes them, you know, even more important, especially the shockwaves, right? Mm-hmm. You know, being able to kind of get out of these sticky situations where it's moving up and people are blocking off, because if you're on height and you know how to play height well, this is especially for trios, right? But works the same in solos where, you know, you want to do your best to make it difficult for the guys getting up.
100% timing is also a big thing.
Yeah.
All right, now we're looking at like the zone kind of being a little bit of a bowl in the center. Everyone around it slightly more elevated. I dropped the most. He's moving the latest. It might be harder to get in now, but he gets to pick a really good position on edge zone. He could possibly be above everyone else when it's a very flat, natural low ground. Being above is the best, and moving late might get you snipes. Let's gets popped in the head. Oh my God.
Goodness. Tomsy, sit down. iDrop is in the building, and you saw he hit the cheeky snipe onto Lecce as well. iDrop did amazing in the semis, and it looks like he wants to do so in the finals as well.
Bro, that snipe was from outside the building, man. So this guy's everywhere.
Literally everywhere right now. And like you said, he's now, after picking up those eliminations, able to pick a nice spot for himself on the edge of zone. And setting up great coming into the endgame now.
You have insights on where Lecce lands?
I don't. Lecce's one of them players where I don't have that.
It's a bit swappy, right? Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about it this way, right? We already saw one player, it was Tomsy, take out Robabs. That's all of Misty loot. Plus wherever Lecce lands, if we see the man get all the way there towards that loot, if we see iDrop get there to the second body, here's Floki taking out Wakey. What I'm trying to say is every elim now is basically going to get you all the loot from whatever POI these guys looted. You can essentially have like a 80 loot path amount of loadout onto you if you get elims up to now. No one's really used their shockwaves, their crash pads. No one used their bullets. Getting elims now and fighting those bodies is the best thing anyone can do, and iDrop has the most. He might just win game number one.
Yeah, most definitely. And in this time of the game, right, it can be so difficult to get those eliminations, which is why they are often so rewarding, right? Mm-hmm. So for him to pick up like 2 in such an easy manner, it's really going to be good for him, and I will expect to see him towards those final zones.
And if he has like a base of 2 downed bodies with, let's say, 4,500 mats, Styler going down by Lanouf, no way. This man might be heated off of not making Trios FNCS Grand Finals last week, but now here to play another one, Kiro, Lanoof an actual sentry turret up in these builds. This is the effect, Levin, of having a whole zone that's just completely flat. Anyone that's slightly elevated has eyes on everything. Lanoof with 3 eliminations in 30 seconds just with God AR aim.
Yeah, and swapping over here to Jam side, who's gonna literally try to create some separation. You see Detox there, really trying to stick it on him. Looking to get a little counter shot there. Goes for the edit. Doesn't connect, but it was a nice attempt. But unfortunately, it looks like he's got himself in a bit of a pickle because there are now many players looking to hit shots onto him. And look, he's scurrying away, but maybe the change of elevation will help him there. That was really difficult for a second for Jam side.
Changing elevation right now might not be the wave. There's nowhere to move out to. Everyone literally has a flat at every single layer, at every single major position. Like this barn and Jam side is literally jammed out to the side. Excuse the puns, but like there's literally nowhere to move. He has just one steer protecting him and he can barely even pop a 50 shield.
See here, rotations coming in now. Mr. Savage on the top right of your screen. He finds a nice little position and doing exactly what he does best, right? Looking at that backside of the zone, looking for anything he can get. Oh, whips out the sniper. Mr. Savage, how dare you?
Ooh. How dare he? How dare Jam side too, picking up the Elam, being on the brink of elimination, and now has a gallery to pick and choose a big prize from. Gets one. I'm looking at the bottom right POV. Now going back to the top right, there's Savage with the big broom. He's getting ahead of zone. It's starting to move, Levin.
This is the time of the game where you need to make the materials count, right? Spend as much as you can, protect yourself at all costs because so many players will begin to fall. Mr. Savage looking to contribute to that. He picks up one. Looking for more now. You see on low ground, it's getting messy, right? This is the effect of having that kind of flattened out zone, right? So many players playing on that low ground and it's getting hectic. Jam side with a player in his box and he picks up the elimination. Gonna use the shockwave to get out of that one. And now he's looking better for himself. No shield though. Will he be able to stay alive? Will he be able to get even more siphon?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. We were saying it's natural low. It's pulling over. Starts. Look at all the names. Lanoof, Cammy. Everyone is just trapped. Jam side shockwave just makes it all the way up. All the way on height though. We have X-Squeeze who was living here already. And Jam side is now in the depths of low ground that used to be hype, but now it's ultimate low. It's crazy going back and forth with the ebb and flow. 5 eliminations for Jam side. Looks like Vato might be above him. He gets one off in the storm. 9 people now left. That zone raised the whole lobby. And everyone has used shockwaves. They've used the brooms. They've used the shields. Savage gets Cammy. More shots being shot everywhere. Uprise on the bottom side. And now big shockwaves. Jam side in another box. He takes a big hit on height. Here's X-Squeeze. He gets another one. MXR down and it's his game to win.
X-Squeeze on that high ground. Looking to secure this victory royale, but the materials are running thin. You see him using them rather scarcely. Vato picks up an elimination now and X-Squeeze wants his say on it. But he needs to be careful because Vato's coming towards his. He picks up that elimination. X-Squeeze looking to pick up that victory royale. He gets the mats that he so needs. But the broomstick play comes out. Will he be able to stay on top? He does.
No way. No way. X-Squeeze, 360 degrees of mobile heat vision. Uprise is the last person in the air. He cannot stay up. X-Squeeze actually comes down. He's had enough of waiting. Big elimination now onto Uprise. 6 for X-Squeeze, and he's about to wrap it up in a 1v1.
And now for the 1v1, X-Squeeze. He's done everything right up to this point. Will he hit that final shot? 170 and the elimination to pick up the victory royale. Wow.
Absolutely clean for X-Squeeze. That was game number 1, and it ended almost instantly. We have an instant break, so stay tuned. We'll be right back with the leaderboards.